Feels like fall. Leaves are starting to fall. Everything's starting to fall. And I'm collecting seeds. All right, today we're doing regular cucumbers. I know they're gigantic, overly mature they're supposed to be, and lemon cucumbers. I don't know what kind these are. Primarily because I've grown them so close together for so many years that they are crossing. These are actually green and small when they first start, so I can pick them like a small cucumber and eat it like that. The lemon cucumbers are getting a little longer, a little taller, not quite so round, but you know what? That's all right. I did pick these. They were very mature. I let them get overripe, and that makes it now time to save them for seed. So we're going to use a fermentation method. Pretty easy. We've done this a million times. All we're going to do is scoop out some seeds, throw them in a jar, and let them ferment. And then that gelatinous material on the seeds is going to fall away, and the seeds are going to be perfectly fine. So what the hell do I mean by that? Well, let's do it together. We're out here in the boonies of my home, out by where the old chicken coop is. I'm going to just cut the end of this off and take a look inside. I don't know why I do this. The first couple I always seem to see where the big seeds start. And now I'm going to cut down and pop that open. Look at all those seeds. Look at them. Isn't that a beautiful thing? All right, so we're going to collect these seeds. I'm not going to try to put them directly into the jar because they're going to go everywhere. So I'm going to put them into this bowl with a little bit of water in it. And all we're going to do is open her up. And it doesn't matter if the meat falls in there too. Some of that meat falls in. We're just going to ferment that out anyway. So this is what we're doing. There are tools for this, I'm sure. I don't have any. I tried to use tools before. I always end up going back to my hands. So that's over. Now, look how quick, right? Because I've let these get so overly mature, they're not good for much right now except for feed, animal feed or compost. So that's all I'd keep them for. So let me go ahead and finish these up, and then we'll do, got jumpers. I got so many of these, so it's ridiculous. I'm going to finish these up, put them in the jar, and then we'll move on to the lemon cucumber. Look at that, it's hiding up there. All right, stay tuned. All right, so let's talk a little bit while we do this. Why can't I just put these seeds directly onto a paper towel? Because they've got this gelatinous material on it, they'll mold. What it's meant to have happen is it's meant to get nice and old and fall off the plant and rot over the winter time until the early spring. Then it breaks apart, and the seeds by then are able to sprout, and then they make a new plant. So the gelatinous material in the outside of the plant, or the outside of the cucumber, is meant to keep it safe all winter long. So if you don't remove both of those things, that's why you can't just take one of these and throw it on a shelf. They're just going to rot. So fermentation is just the easiest way to do that. The gelatinous material ferments and floats, and any of the meat in here floats, and then the rest of it sinks. We'll show you what that looks like. This is exactly the same way we do fermentation for tomatoes. Although tomatoes I can also use a blender for, because they've got tiny seeds, but you can't for these. The blender will just chop these seeds up. Okay, anyway, I'm finally going to finish this up. All right, so I did those. Now I'm going to try to get this into here, but I just realized there might be too much water. Let's see. See how good the aim is, shall we? Alrighty, what do you know? Look at that. Pretty good. And I'm just going to slap, actually it's a fermentation lid, but it's for a different size thing, and I don't care. I just want to have the lid on there to keep out the bugs and the flies. And now we're going to do the same thing to the lemon cuke, so let me go get some water. Why am I getting water when I have water right here? All right, I'm going to rinse this out so I don't mix up the seeds. You can see here I wrote on the outside of the jar, this will come off so easily. So be careful when you're picking it up and moving it around. That one broke when I harvested it. Yeah, no good. All right, let's see what's in here. Ooh, it's a pretty soft one too. They may be too old, but let's see. Shall we? Oh, pretty good. Okay, looks good. So a little less gelatinous. You know, it's a different kind of cucumber. Seeds actually look better. Some of the other ones had some flat seeds in there, but these are all nice and full, which means they're going to be better for growing. We'll talk about that sometime. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and basically, right, it's just the same thing. Just get the seeds out of there. Really fun thing to do with some kids. Way to get your hands dirty. Not much to mess up, other than you might not want to have two different kinds of cucumbers around at the same time because your seeds will get mixed up. So yeah, that is one. There's a couple more, and I'll go ahead and do these and we'll come right back. All right, so I opened this one up, and what I'm seeing is these are all immature seeds. See how small they are, and they're all flat. This is not a good seed saver. So let's not even waste our time. Much better, nice big seeds, and very full. So we're gonna go ahead and move forward with this. All right, finish that. And same thing like before, we're just going to pour this into there. Oop. Try to keep the seeds in the container. Now I'm going to take them over to the table I have across the way and let these ferment with some tomatoes. All right, so we're over here at the table, and you can see I've got my tomatoes going over here. Now I'll have my cucumbers. And I used to do this inside the house, but man, it draws fruit flies. So I'm just going to do all my seed drying and stuff kind of in one central area. And yeah, we'll come back and take a look when one of these is all fermented so you can see what that looks like. Hi you guys, so it's time to collect the seeds. They've been sitting out for actually about 10 days, so some of these have mold growing on the top of it, but you can definitely see that the seeds have dropped and the gunk is floating around in here. So now what do? Well, we take the lid off and make sure to put that stuff in the dishwasher, and then we come over here to the sink, and you have a nice sieve, one you can spray water through and that gunk can get through, but small enough to capture the seeds. So what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to pour off the top as much as I can, including a couple of those floater seeds. But when I get down to here, right, then I'm going to put it into my vessel, and now we've got to spray, because can you see how thick that is? There's still a bunch of gunk in there. Warm water, spray. And that's how easy it is. So now what do we do with it? Well, we get paper toweling and we wipe up that wet. All right, that's dry. So I like at least 3 deep, but you know, you might be able to do more, might do less. So these are my name's Martha M's Cukes. 9/20/25. So then what we do is we cap that and take this, and we're going to come over here and we're going to flip it upside down fast and hard. We're going to do it with conviction. You could just go like this, but I don't know, I prefer like that. And then you'll see some of them jumped, but you know, it's not very hard to clean up. Ta-da. And then we'll just spread them out, put them on a rack to dry. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, I like to use like a bread rack or a cookie rack, and that way the air can get underneath as well as the top. and we just let that dry for a week or more. I put this near a heat vent, but not on the heat vent, so the seeds don't crack or anything. Then I'll store it away and use next year. Here's an example of the tomatillos I saved from last year, and I do it the exact same way. And I have them in a manila folder, but you just put it on there. I keep the whole paper towel and everything. Sometimes I'll put them in a manila envelope. Often I'll just put them directly into this kind of a folder, and then I have them all alphabetical in a tote box. So that's how you do cucumbers. Now we're going to do tomatoes. That's a separate video, so link it if you want to see it. I'll link it below. Thanks for watching.